discussing yesterday, I was just thinking that the important thing was the beginning.
Hmm.
Because when you are beginning, you have no base, you have no references. And so the question is, references become the immediate presence of what is around. And so I was also thinking that in this lockdown position, in the silence, I had never looked at the trees so much before. But having observed them today and yesterday and few days before, I realized that in the design process, I never talked about how trees grow and how combination of trees create their own characteristics, and how in seasons the trees and the leaves and the foliage change. And over time, this building is 60 years now, we are here. Over time, how that landscape and the building and the atmosphere not only influences you, but it changes your own psyche. Now, why I'm saying this is because this is something which happens to everybody. But for 60 years, I never became aware about it. I only became aware about it because there has been no work and silence and whatnot. So the question is, when you begin teaching, what is the reference we take? We take the immediate reference, but we don't take the reference of our previous experiences. And suddenly I realized that when Gandhiji was talking about 700 villages, and he always talked about them, he must have walked all the time. I wondered how much that silence, that slowness, that minimalism, the relationship, the behavioral patterns, even the kind of activities, or the way energies are being reutilized, recycled, etc., must have affected him and the lifestyle. And I think that is how that he invented his life, his philosophy, but also the charkha. And I think most important thing about the charkha was that it is almost of no cost, but it occupies everybody whenever they're free. So a thing which is there is, how do you generate wealth without specialization, but allowing everybody in the vicinity or in the house to participate without thinking that they have used the time. So the charkha, the spinning wheel, is used in the spare time, and it has been made into a thread, and then that goes into the market, and eventually the clothes will wear. Now, how this cycle came, and how he says talk about occupation, he talks about using your own time, but it also is like a meditation because you are reflecting, you are concentrating, and yet you are part of the family. Now, this simple thing, but this simple activity, today when we compartmentalize kitchen and room and a veranda and an outside space and inside space and with so many doors, I think we are completely disconnected.
Yeah, because I think the focus was entirely about people, about humans. Now what has happened is that you're talking about production.
Yes.
And so there he's saying that your time is there. You can use it fruitfully. You may be rich, poor, young, old, it does not matter. But you can use this. And at the end of it, there is something being produced which is of value to you and to society.
Also, the kind of trips that we made near villages in the 60s and 70s, it was a veranda, there were buffaloes and cows, and there was a potter, and then there were ladies working, and it was all earthenware. So the issue which I am recollecting for a reason, the kind of thing that we use, the kind of connection we do, the kind of attitude that then we have of relationships, I think has not been really discussed in the way it actually has other alternatives.
Well, partly because of the way that we are living today. No, we are this whole thing of existential living, meaning you are connected to people and to things actually. The moment you become virtually connected, you are connected to the whole world virtually. But the moment you are virtually connected, you are actually disconnecting this physicality of experience and, let's say, human sort of contact completely. You're removing that. And then all your mindsets are about how far, how fast, how this thing, and you're talking about speed rather than about rhythms and cycles. Now, I understand that as an agrarian society, largely to an industrial society, there will be this shift. But does that mean that we lose the physical contact? And I think this thing about physical contact.
But also, look at the way when we started the exhibition and then we talked about habitat. Before that, it could have been an architectural exhibition. So the moment you change the word from architecture to habitat, you begin to talk about life, lifestyle, relationship, climate, etc. And I think the moment one changes that, which could to change this, it changed the whole idea of what is really the nature of outside space or inside space, relationships, and how do you really look at the activities and not only a product. So the process in the education today is not there anymore. Our learning has no process. The learning doesn't talk about that sequence, and learning doesn't talk also about time, silence, energy. And I think those are the issues which every time I look out and I don't hear anything from outside, I am getting more and more conscious of this, which I was not. And I think this is the thing which I feel we have to find places like this where we start teaching or imparting dialogues.
Well, I think the idea of, see, today because we can control our environment, at least inside environment, we don't consider the environment to be important.
Yes.
It's a convenience, but we have lost something in the bargain.
Yeah.
When you feel the heat of the summer and you value the shade because
Yes.
of that heat,
Yes.
you value the glare-free light when there is darkness and there's little shadows, you start valuing that. When you are comfortable, you don't obviously value any of this. No, you forget the
No, but
the
as
gradations.
as a result, we don't even think about time as something, an element which is important, or energy, or activity. That whole idea of working with sanctity or sacredness or preciousness, I think is a very important aspect, by which you start creating space, you start creating reading, or you start creating anything that you want. And I think this is really where the fundamental awareness happens. When we talk of the student and architecture, we talk function, but we never know really what that implies and in what condition of climate or temperature or relationship. And I think these are the things which one needs to do. So, in a school, we need to have some rooms which are made, laboratory. Council asked that, why don't you have a laboratory? Now, in that laboratory, if there was one space which had all the variations possible, like a climate lab, but in which you change, you tone, and then you start talking about what is the meaning of space, what is the meaning of light. So it is no more abstraction, it is experiential. And I think if we do that, suddenly people would start, a student or a faculty would start valuing the meaning behind it, because we don't know really what is the proportion. And I think this is something which we must